So I was recently talking with someone who had this experience of that he's been doing this podcast for a while, and suddenly he had this one video that popped off.
Everybody's dream.
I mean that it got 26 million views. So not just like some views, 26 million views.
Yeah.
Huge.
That's literally a dream come true.
Guess how many views his next video got?
I mean, like, if he's lucky, 1 million?
No. 10,000.
From 26 million to 10,000?
Yeah, and what about the one after that?
I mean, based on this trend, 1,000 views?
300.
Thank you for contacting podcast support.
And so
Wow.
this was really jaw-dropping to me, but then I went through with him and I was looking at, why that might have happened, and it became pretty clear. And it was because that one video, if you watch that one video, which was, this conversation was this really beautiful. I don't want to give too many details so that, everybody knows exactly who this person is, but, it was a really good conversation. And what you got immediately afterwards, if you went and looked at all of the other stuff, was no other conversations that really felt like that one. And you had no other ways. There weren't any other call to actions. There weren't any other ways to engage with content that was similar to that one that you got right there. So it really was this one singular message in a bottle without any other things there to help continue to grow that audience.
That's really fascinating. So did he end up with any lasting benefits from that one video that went viral?
No.
Not a single one.
No.
So how do we...
I guess, yeah, he has 30,000 YouTube followers.
Did they all come from that one?
Pretty much all from that one video. But, subscribers, as we know, aren't really worth that much if they're not constantly staying around and engaging with your content.
Yeah, because the algorithm just doesn't actually deliver stuff to people who subscribe to you. It delivers it to people who it thinks are going to watch.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do we make sure that people, when we have that big viral moment, how do we make sure that we actually can capitalize on it?
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to your sales funnel. And I know that sounds super corporate or something, but
yeah, people hear sales funnel and they just go like, oh, well, that's not what actually matters. But guys, that's actually what matters.
Yeah, it's the most important thing. Every single channel needs to have it. I don't care how fun or quirky your show is. You can have the weirdest show on the planet, but if you have that sales funnel, if you have that spine to your show, you'll actually be able to do something with it because it helps you connect with your audience. It helps you stay engaged. It helps you just bring them through your whole ecosystem.
One of the funniest, quirkiest podcasts that I have ever listened to, My Brother and Me, which is my favorite example of things. They have a great sales funnel.
Yeah.
And they make sure that once you are in their ecosystem and once you've started listening to their episodes, that you get hooked. And there's other places for you to spend money. There's other places to engage with them. It's not just one single spot. So, okay. So we have our podcast. We've been struggling for a year or so to get views. We're being 200, 300 views. And suddenly we accomplish our dream. And we've got 26 million views on one single episode. What is it that we would have had to have had in place by this point to really capitalize on that?
One is consistent ideas within your videos, because you don't want them to watch that video and then go to somebody else's channel. You want them to be able to go and watch other videos that are similar. And
that's such a good point.
That's such a hard one, though. If people will feel oftentimes I'm just starting out. I don't totally know what type of content I want to be creating, and that's totally understandable. But you do want to make sure that, it all has a cohesive feel, that it all feels, either that it's you and it's your reactions to things, or you talking about things, or even better, that it's actually part of a specific industry or something like that, so that when people see that video, they have something else to go on to. So that's number one.
What I hear a lot from people is this, and honestly, I feel this myself, but what I hear a lot from people is that they're afraid to repeat themselves.
Sure.
In their social media posts, their podcast, their YouTube videos, they're terrified that if they say the same thing over and over again, people are going to tune out. Yeah. But I think that that's a completely unfounded fear, because if you look at the biggest people on the internet, they all say the exact same things over and over and over again in a million different ways. There's a great guy who makes content about feng shui, and I started watching his content. His stuff is feng shui modern. He's great. But he has made so many videos about how to place a desk in feng shui. He's made this video over and over and over again, and people love it every single time. Yeah. And he's repeated himself so many times with it, but people keep watching it, and he's still growing and growing and getting bigger and bigger by repeating himself.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think that's a good example of it. So, I mean, once you have those videos, the people can go and they can watch that and then watch into something else. The other thing that you need to make sure of is that you have other ways for them to engage with you. And so for some people, that's a lead magnet that you can then get them onboarded into your newsletter. For other people, that's going to be more about having a Patreon or something like that. And obviously, you know, from one video, probably somebody's not going to sign up for your Patreon. But if they watch that and then you have other videos that are similar, and then they watch 3 or 4 episodes, and then all of a sudden they want to see, well, hey, what else are they doing behind the scenes? How can I engage with that? How can I hang out with this Discord? Those types of things. So you need to make sure that you have each of those stages, from social media to the like YouTube or podcast to the newsletter and all the way down.
Yeah, because if you are only on one platform where people engage with your content and the algorithm suddenly changes, you're completely screwed. You need to make sure that you have control over your own destiny, and that you are not just beholden to the algorithm and the trends of YouTube or the trends of Spotify.
Yeah, 100%. And like, you know, there's something about this that it like, I want so desperately for people to be able to jump on those moments when lightning strikes.
Mm-hmm.
And people focus so heavily on, I've got to make this content. I got to be churning out this content. It's like content. And, you know, that often leads to burnout and all these other things. But like, one of the biggest things that can save you from all of that cycle is like genuinely knowing how you're going to move people through what you have presented for them, so that when that lightning strikes, you actually seize upon it. You don't just like waste that opportunity. And like, you know, I think it sits with people afterwards if you miss that chance, that like, I'm never gonna have that opportunity again, or 2, it's like, just, well, I've got to try to chase that. What was that thing?
Yep. And suddenly you're just trying all these disparate things, guessing at what it was about that one video that worked.
Yeah, when like there's a million things that could have gone into that one video working. It's so like, I think, you know, that thing that I would suggest to people is you need to take the wins, but you need to prepare for the wins. Preparing for the wins is way more important than like even the win itself, because getting that 26 million views is great, but it's way more important that you have that system in place.
Absolutely. So just to recap, the 3 things that we need to make sure that are in place before we have our big win, so that we're ready to capitalize on it, are that we need to make sure we're making other content that's repeating the same themes and ideas, and so that people know that we are a consistent source of whatever it is that they're looking for, that they came to that video for. We need to make sure that we have other places to capture them and communicate with them, so that we're not just beholden to the YouTube algorithm.
And then the third one, I mean, what I would say is don't get caught up by the win.
Right.
That you need to make sure, because this is another thing, is like that win, if let's say for him, like, you know, he could see that 26 million and then be like, I'm never going to get that again, and give up. But like, I would say don't get caught up with that too much. If that happened and, you know, you didn't capture them that time, well, okay, then it's a wake-up call to make sure that you are capturing that information and you're building up your sales funnel, because you want to be ready for the next time.
Absolutely.
If anybody has similar stories, we would love to hear them, because it's really important to be sharing these so that, you know, everybody can be learning from each other. And then if you found this helpful, make sure that you subscribe so you do not miss more information like this. We're here to make sure that you become, you know, the master podcaster that's going out there and crushing your content.
And thank you so much for listening to Podcast Support.